Little League Softball World Series in Greenville, North Carolina. But tonight, the Little Leaguers turn their attention to the pros as Athletes Unlimited's championship season makes a stop for the AU Pro Games at the Little League Softball World Series. 15 former pros or former Little Leaguers represent this professional roster. Team McQuillin and Team Kilfoyle start off our doubleheader here in Week 3 of this Athletes Unlimited championship season. Alongside the two-time All-American Amanda Scarborough, I'm Chucky Kemp. You've been able to call some games at the Little League Softball World Series. AU and this brand coming together. It was so special last year. We can't wait for tonight.
Yeah, this event is just going to continue to get better and better every year. This is the second year for this event to happen. And these 11, 12, and 13-year-old Little Leaguers get a chance to watch the professionals live just 50 feet away. And remember, these pros were once their age, and they had dreams, too, of maybe being a professional softball player. And these Little Leaguers get to watch them right in front of them and make their dreams be even bigger.
I've seen a lot of talent at the Little League Softball World Series too, so maybe, just maybe, some future pros here in Greenville as we take a look at Taylor McQuillin's first lineup of Week 3. Back-to-back captain's chairs for Taylor McQuillin, who was never a captain before in her first 4 years, but she sends 3 former Little Leaguers to the plate. Morgan Zirkle leads off, Jesse Warren in the cleanup spot, and Rachel Garcia bats 6th. All of them alumni of Little League. They will face off with another former Little Leaguer in the star rookie out of Oklahoma State, Lexi Kilfoyle. She leads the league with 3 wins, just 1 loss, a sub-1 ERA. What more could you ask for in your professional debut?
Yeah, not much. She has just been so outstanding since weekend number 1 when she threw a couple of complete games through a shutout. She has a sub-1 ERA, and as a rookie, she's actually thrown the most innings out of any pitcher in the league.
Well, let's hear from Lexi Kilfoyle on what she brings to the table.
My name's Lexi Kilfoyle. I'm a pitcher, and my favorite pitch to throw is a changeup because you get to make the hitters look silly in the box when they swing and miss.
She does have a great changeup. The pitch that she's going to go to the most and what she is known for the most is her drop ball. She will mix in that drop ball and a changeup and throw with good velocity, 68 to 70 miles an hour. These Little Leaguers are in for a treat to get to watch Lexi Kilfoyle pitch live. She stands at over 6 feet tall, and her movement is unbelievable.
Didn't take her long to take the top spot after 1 week. She wore the gold jersey, and then this week donning the orange jersey as we get set for Week 3 of this Athletes Unlimited championship season. But much more of a special night to be here in Greenville during the Little League Softball World Series. If you can't tell, weather has been a problem today. The Little League games have been postponed, but we still have a packed house here on the campus of East Carolina University. First pitch from Kilfoyle is a strike to Morgan Zirkle, the head coach at Marshall and longtime pro, the first player to reach the 100 game mark for Athletes Unlimited. She's also a member of the 100 hit club for Athletes Unlimited. Shows bunt and takes that pitch just outside for ball 1. What stood out to you in year 1 that you really enjoyed about this event?
I think just seeing the interaction of each of the Little Leaguers get a chance to be right next to the pros for a couple of days, because this interaction started yesterday. They're in the stands right now watching them play, but yesterday the AU players and in the few games that we had yesterday, because a couple got canceled, but the AU players were at the Little League field getting a chance to watch them play. They got to hang out and do some activities even outside of the field. So to me, it's all about the interaction and just seeing the professional players communicate and inspire these Little League softball players as Lexi Kilfoyle gets the first strikeout of the day. This is that drop ball that I was mentioning, Chucky, that just falls off the table. You'll see her get on top of this pitch and gets Morgan Zirkle to chase well out of the zone. And that's when you know that pitch is moving, because you don't see a hitter like Morgan Zirkle swing that far out of the zone unless that pitch is breaking like crazy.
Just what Kilfoyle wanted to do. Now Bubba Nichols, who is the reigning AUX champion from Wichita earlier this summer. It's interesting with Bubba, she kind of traded what she's done offensively. She hit 5 home runs at AUX. She has just 1 here in the first 2 weeks of the championship season, but she's hitting .450 So she's traded average for power, but she's kept the run production, leads the league with 8 RBIs, but it just kind of perfectly explains what kind of player Bubba Nichols is. She can do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, she is such a powerful hitter, and what stands out to me that these little softball players are probably going to get a chance to see Bubba Nichols do is go the opposite way. When she gets an outside pitch or any pitch that is middle away, she does such a good job of using the right side of the field. She's not a hitter that tries to pull everything. She's a hitter that pitches or that hits it wherever it's pitched to her.
1-2 inside and flies over the head of the facilitator for Team McQuillin, Bailey Lang, down the third base side. Had to do a little, kind of looked like she was surfing. She ducked under that ball. 1-2 count for Kilfoyle.
Yeah, because if I'm any of these players, I am taking everything in, from the way that the hitter goes through the routine to get into the box, from the way that the players communicate inside the dugout. If you have a chance to peek in there and see inside the dugout, if you're at the right angle, to how Lexi Kilfoyle holds herself in the pitching circle. There's so much to learn with these little leaguers in attendance and watching these professional softball players.
Lexi went to Japan for the Japan All-Star Series with Team USA this summer. As many of these players have done, they've played a lot of international ball. That goes off her foot. This might work out perfectly to McKinney. 1-4-3 on the ground out from Nichols.
This is what Lexi Kilfoyle is going to throw with her arsenal. You're going to see her be more down in the zone, not really move the ball up in the top of the zone with the rise ball like you'll see a lot of fast pitch pitchers bring, but she just really owns the bottom of the zone with her drop ball and her changeup. She'll throw a curveball a little bit. That's a third speed for her, but her main pitch to go to is going to be a drop ball that rolls a lot of ground ball outs to her infield.
2 quick outs of Zirkle and Nichols without much fuss, and now it's the rookie Erin Koffel out of Kentucky. Hitting .214 so far in this championship season. She has 3 total hits, a double, a triple, and a home run. That catches the outside corner for a strike from Kilfoyle, and Koffel's down 0-2. Love these rookie matchups here. Players straight out of college, Oklahoma State against Kentucky right now. This is a much more comfortable color for Lexi Kilfoyle this week, I think. I mean, obviously you want to wear the gold, you want to be on the top of the leaderboard, but the orange is just, it just works.
Yeah, pretty much the whole infield, I feel like. Skylar Wallace at shortstop, Kelsey Stewart-Hunter at first base. They all rep the orange from Oklahoma State and Florida both. A lot of Florida softball fans that have been on these Little League softball teams competing at the World Series that I've seen too. I feel like that may be one of the biggest teams actually that I see written down as favorite team. That's what Lexi Kilfoyle did at Oklahoma State. Just a 1.20 ERA, pretty good. Unbelievable how she finished her career this past season as a senior. And, I mean, really just taking that momentum that she had her senior year into her rookie season at Athletes Unlimited. A lot of confidence in the circle with her stuff and what she's bringing, just owning her strengths, Jackie. That's the biggest thing I see from her.
This is kind of off the handle into left field. Long run for Wallace, who tracks it down with ease. Skylar Wallace showing off the range for the Little Leaguers in the crowd.
Love that. They are going to take note on the drop step that got Skylar Wallace in this position to go back. And you can't count out the communication on that play.
A 0 put up by Lexi Kilfoyle. A great start in the top of the first as her team will now come to the plate in her second week as a captain. Went 1-2 last week. The 2 losses, 2-0 and 8-5 in 8 innings. This is who she sends to the plate. Claire Davidson, a former Little Leaguer, is in that cleanup spot, and she leads the league with a .467 batting average. And then at the top, 2 really tough outs. Victoria Hayward and Skylar Wallace, the lefties, will lead things off for Team Kilfoyle against the captain on the other side. The second straight week for Taylor McQuillin, who had not served as a captain in her first 4 years of Athletes Unlimited, but she has 6 of her Week 2 teammates back with her. She's had Alyssa Denham with her all 3 weeks of this season, and we're still waiting for Taylor to make her appearance on the field, but I think her evolution as a player over the last 2 or 3 seasons has been really impressive because she has become truly elite.
Yeah, she's really studied pitching and studied her off-speed pitches and her spin and the way that location and speed affects effective velocity, which will affect a hitter's timing, essentially. So the fact that she is just able to throw different speeds, throw to different quadrants and different counts is really what has separated her this year, with her ability to buy in, study it, learn it, and then put it into play in games.
College ball at Arizona. She's from Mission Viejo, California. Played for Team Mexico at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. First pitch swinging for Hayward, right to Zirkle in center field, 1 out.
I love that as a pitcher, huh? 1 pitch, 1 out.
All right, talk to me about these conditions as a pitcher. The tarp's been on the field all day, but still it's a little damp on the dirt infield. What is this like footing-wise? Does it bother you or not?
Yeah, footing-wise should be okay because they had it covered with the tarp. There is a chance that maybe it's a little slick, but if it was kind of slick in the landing spot whenever she strides out, or Lexi Kilfoyle strides out, because they'll land in different spots, right? Because they have different leg lengths, they have different stride lengths, that they could have the field crew come out and make some adjustments. So it's just all about communicating what you need out there, and then also having a towel, having that rosin, and asking for a brand new ball from the umpire whenever you feel like your ball, the softball, is a little bit wet.
Taylor McQuillin actually at AUX in Wichita on a rainy night there. She had at least twice threw the ball back, and maybe even 3 times, looking for the right one. She knows what kind of feel she wants. Working against Skylar Wallace, the tremendous rookie out of Florida. Swings through that off-speed pitch. McQuillin just fooled her. Two now from McQuillin, looking for her first strikeout of the night. Up and in, ball 3.
That's her going up and in. And that pitch up and in like that makes your heart beat a little faster. It makes your brain start to think a little bit quicker. So that's that effective velocity to use that pitch to set up low and away and off speed like that. And that's that idea, Chucky, of effective velocity that Taylor McQuillin has really owned this season.
Let's see what McQuillin's arsenal looks like.
Hi, my name is Taylor McQuillin. I'm a pitcher, and my favorite pitch to throw is a changeup because it throws off the timing of the batter.
You see that she has a lot of different pitches that she lists out there that she'll use too. She'll go up in the zone with her rise ball. She'll bring in her curve ball. She'll come in with a changeup and with the drop ball, a screw. I mean, she will really mix things up, and she is left-handed. That gives her the edge. She's the only left-handed pitcher this season.
Working against Sydney Romero now in that 3-hole. That's up and in for a ball. You talk about all those pitches. What about just variations? I mean, you talk off-speed curve, things like that. How much of that do we see with these elite pitchers, just tweaking velocity of different pitches? That is crushed by Romero into right center field, and that's going to be a double as Biancastelli couldn't cut it off. 20 points for Romero to keep the inning alive with 2 outs.
You'll see them vary speeds a ton throughout an at-bat, and that really, to me, is what separates it from the college game to the professional game. Sydney Romero in a hitter's count gets one that is just a mistake. Out over the plate, short swing to take that pitch to right center field, and it's a double for Sid.
And now the best hitter in the league through 2 weeks, Claire Davidson. The rookie out of Duke. Played her Little League for Fort Hunt Little League. Remember, 15 total former Little Leaguers. 4 of them were baseball players, and 11 former Little League softball players in this Athletes Unlimited pool of players.
Well, and the Little Leaguers are all over. The teams that were supposed to play tonight, Mexico and Canada, they're coming in as everything was canceled for the rest of the night. So all the games today, nothing got played today at the Little League Softball World Series, but you see all the different teams and all the different colors and uniforms with their parents and their coaches attending this game.
0-2 fouled straight back, and we've got a little window here of weather for the moment at least. We hope it lasts. There's some of the Little League alumni from Team Kilfoyle. Davidson at the plate. Caroline Jacobson, Lexi Kilfoyle, and Peyton St. George.
Florida and Virginia represented well. No team from Florida or Georgia at this World Series.
But still a lot of Florida fans, as you mentioned.
A lot of Florida fans,
What's
definitely.
the deal?
I don't know. I think people really get drawn to their mascot being the Gator. I think they like their colors, and I think that Florida overall does a good job of branding. And oh yeah, they have a really good softball team too.
They like the chop.
Like the Gator chop, for sure. People buy into that. But I think it starts conversations with these Little Leaguers that are in the stands right now, because you're watching these players as professionals, but you get to see their bio come up and see, oh, Claire Davidson, she plays outfield, she played at Duke. And then these players can go and search Duke softball on their phone and look at their roster and their schedule for this next upcoming season. It just starts conversations. That's what I love about this, because there's so many different ways that you can have conversations about this game for college softball and professional softball and the game itself. It's amazing.
Claire Davidson not just swinging a great bat, but just adds to the long list of impossible outs for these pitchers when they're ahead in the count, and now Davidson gets hit. 8 points for her on the hit by pitch, and this inning is still alive thanks to that Sydney Romero double, and now Davidson reaches behind Romero, who was her former assistant coach at Duke. That feels crazy to me, that now you have, like, not just former teammates in college, but you have coaches playing with former players.
Definitely a unique part about this league, to do that.
Multiple head coaches in this league. Morgan Zirkle out in center field. Victoria Hayward, who was the leadoff hitter for Team Kilfoyle. She is now the head coach at Nevada. There's Morgan Zirkle, the head coach at Marshall, her alma mater. Taylor Edwards pops this up into the stands.
I don't see any gloves in the stands from the Little Leaguers. It would be likely the most that they've used their glove if a foul ball comes to them today with all the games being canceled. They have their clappers, though. Everybody gets a clapper. You see the orange clapper in the hands. It makes the noise that you're likely hearing through your screen, too.
Off speed again. That one fouled down the left field line. You know, I feel like you have a lot of delay stories and cancellation stories, and now I'm starting to think that, well,
it's me.
You might be a problem.
I think it's La Nina, and I think it might be Tropical Storm Debbie combination of both of those giving us the delays. I don't know, but maybe, just maybe.
Edwards sits on this one into right field. Romero is going to hold at third base. She thought about it. Now a run down between second and third. And Romero probably, she's safe. Wow, that's a really smart play. Romero saving Davidson there.
I can't believe that Team McQuillin didn't get an out there. First of all, tremendous piece of hitting by Taylor Edwards with 2 strikes to sit back on that changeup. And Sydney Romero didn't want to test the arm of Biancastelli out there in right field. Great cut by Garcia to get the ball to try to get Davidson out, but they let up on Davidson and went for Sydney Romero at third base, and she was already basically back at third base. They had an out with Davidson at second that they didn't take.
And Romero really wasn't challenging to come home either, which is what I thought she might do to create a little bit more of a distraction and try and score a run on that play. So to your point, it is unusual that they didn't go a little bit harder after Davidson with no scare of a run coming across.
course, Erica Biancastelli out in right field, who made that amazing throw home, is a role model to the Italian team that's here for the Little League Softball World Series. I mean, they look up to her like nobody else in this entire world. That's her there. Call her Stelly, with her unique hairstyle, to the way that she plays, to the way that she hits. I mean, everything about Erica Biancastelli, this Italian team that's here, they just idolize. She's a hero to them.
Athletes Unlimited has international players on 4 of the 8 teams that were at the World Cup in Italy. And it's the U.S., Italy, Canada, and Puerto Rico. Alicia Ocasio was a very popular figure last year with the Puerto Rican team that was here.
Yeah, the Italian team is here a lot too. They represent the Europe-Africa region. So they might come from a different Little League, but this is the 8th season that the Italy has been represented at the Little League Softball World Series. So we see them a lot. There's some of the players there.
Something that Georgina Korik has been passionate about, playing internationally for Great Britain, trying to expand the game in Europe, which is, she talks about the Olympics, and if you can get a bigger presence in those European countries, get softball in the Olympics a little bit more.
Well, that's what's been so fun about being here at the Little League Softball World Series, is that it is an international event. And with the Olympics going on right now, which of course is just the buzz all around the world, and we have an international event here, it's been really cool.
2-2 outside Olympic sport. If you had to choose like a random one that you've watched over the last couple weeks, what would yours be if you had to try and make it?
I've been really busy watching softball for the past couple of weeks since the Olympics has been on, but gymnastics for sure, which isn't random, but definitely the sport that I try to make time and figure out when it's on to watch.
But like, I'm saying, what would you participate in if you had to choose one? I was like, okay, were you a gymnast?
No.
Like water polo?
I don't know, Chucky. I've never been asked this before.
Okay. I might come back to it.
Skateboarding?
Is that?
Skateboarding, isn't it? Or is that in 2028?
Huh.
I know.
Stuart Hunter. Foul territory. Jesse Warren's got it. Taylor McQuillin strands the bases loaded here in the first inning. Athletes Unlimited Pro Softball is sponsored by Dick's Sporting Goods. This was yesterday. The pros went to the Little League games too, and you always have the young players at the professional games kind of making the tunnel out of the dugout. That was the professional players' role yesterday. It's such a cool event that we get to be a part of for the second year. The AU Pro Games, the Little League Softball World Series. Team McQuillin and Team Kilfoyle 0-0 after 1 inning. Crowd too, and they're still coming in because we've had the Little League games all got postponed today, so all the Little Leaguers made their way over here. Where they're still the last half inning, we're pouring into the stadium.
And it's starting to rain just a little bit. You can see it coming down, but I think that they're just happy to be at a field and watching softball being played. It's just been a long day for all of Little League and the players and the teams trying to sort out today and see how it would play out. But as you said, all the games were postponed today.
Have you seen enough from the Little League Softball World Series this week to find any standouts? Who sticks out to you?
Chucky, the pitching at the Little League Softball World Series is out of this world this year. You have a great pitcher, Amelia Hamley from Ohio, Ainsley Johnson from Louisiana, Hattie McCumber from Arizona. I mean, the list is long, and listen to me now, they are pitchers that will be pitching collegiately and maybe even professionally one day. That is how good and talented they are at this young age. So hopefully we get to play as the week goes on and Debbie moves past us so that the world can watch them pitch on TV.
Well, bad news as Warren goes down looking, doesn't like it. We've got some rain coming down fairly hard now in Greenville. Strikeout number 2. Hey, Savannah, what's up?
Trying to stay dry, you guys. Getting to talk to some of these players, in particular Lexi Kilfoyle, about some of the things she worked on, not only as a pitcher, but as a captain after stepping into that role for the first time last week. She talked a lot about just putting together a team that is not only great defenders, because every single player on this 60-person roster is a great athlete, but also is someone who can really get the offense going. Maybe they're on a hot streak right now. That's what she was looking for when she stepped into that draft chair for the second time. But then she also had some things that she was hoping to adjust in the circle. She really wanted to get to a point where she was feeling good again. And for her, that was from not hitting her spots last week. She saw how these elite hitters will capitalize on that. She said it's something that I just cannot let go. She's really had to adapt to the shorter warm-up times and really trying to time that up right. In particular today with the weather, just trying to get in her work and step into the circle ready to go.
Yeah, you talk about building teams, Savannah, and if you're new to Athletes Unlimited, these players, the top 4 on the leaderboard every week are captains, and those captains have to draft their own teams as Biancastelli goes opposite field foul ball. So that's really unique in general. And then you have a rookie in Lexi Kilfoyle who becomes a captain her first ever week playing, and she's got to do it for the first time. What do you think the biggest challenge is with that?
Well, it's a lot for her to take on because she's trying to be a great player. She's trying to be a great teammate. She's trying to be a great pitcher. And she has to now add captain to that resume to be able to learn it quickly.
Biancastelli into center field, and the Italian team loves that. Behind home plate, she's got herself a base hit.
Well, and it's so cute because I'm watching the Italian team, and of course they're cheering so hard for her. And there is one girl on the Italian team in particular that has the Erica Biancastelli braids. She likes to wear her hair in braids. You can see it out of her helmet right here, and that is her staple, and that is what the Italian team likes to do as well. But a beautiful swing by Erica Biancastelli that I know the Italian team loved.
Biancastelli, one of the most powerful hitters, one of the all-time home run leaders in Athletes Unlimited history. This is the 5th season of Athletes Unlimited's championship season. There's 4 total sports under the Athletes Unlimited umbrella. Softball was the first ever to crown a champion, and if you are a softball fan, you'll know the name Kat Osterman as the first ever Athletes Unlimited champion back in 2020. You'll also know the name Rachel Garcia, who was the Athletes Unlimited AUX champion last summer, which is a condensed season played before the championship season.
Well, and it's a matchup that you love to see. Lexi Kilfoyle, a top 3 finalist for National Player of the Year this past season in 2024, and Rachel Garcia, she won that award. So 2 of college's great going at it, 2 of professional greats going at it. Of course, Kilfoyle, just a professional for a couple of weeks now, but I think that you can put her in that category with how she's pitched early in this season. She's a pitcher right now that nobody really wants to face.
2 outstanding and just powerful players. You talked about Kilfoyle, 6'2", an imposing presence in the circle. Rachel Garcia has some of the most absurd power at the plate. We saw it last year with exit velo with her 84, 85, not just occasionally, but pretty consistently off her bat.
Yeah, there's just something about how strong she is that the ball comes off of her bat so hard. Reminds me of even somebody like Jocelyn Allo when we saw her in AUX, and we got some of her exit speeds too, that the ball just comes off of their bats harder. And so even a ground ball that looks like it should be an out, it's a firmly hit ground ball that gives you a chance to get on base even more.
Rachel Garcia, the rain was getting on her kind of goggles, glasses that she wears, and you can see it coming down here in Greenville now. We had 45 minutes without rain, and I think that's the first time you had seen a dry moment for the last few days here as Rachel Garcia goes down swinging. 3 strikeouts now for Kilfoyle.
You could tell that Lexi Kilfoyle just wanted to go outside against Rachel Garcia in this at-bat. This looks a little bit more like an off-speed pitch. Could be that off-speed curveball that she throws, but great location to get her to chase that pitch a bit off the plate.
Now Sierra Romero, her sister Sydney, is over at third base. They're split up. They were together in week 1, but not the last couple.
Well, now we have the other sisters together for the first time, Sachelle and Charlize Palacios, that will be in our last game of the day.
Sachelle didn't mess around either. She took her sister in round 2. She wasn't going to take a chance because they've never played together before. They're 5.5 years apart. They've never played together on a field. The Romeros have. They did. The first year they played Athletes Unlimited was in San Diego for AUX, and they very quickly got on the same team, which was awesome. Their whole family was there.
Well, the Romeros played together for a year in high school, too, if I'm not mistaken.
Little travel ball, I think, too.
Yeah, they had played together before. It had been a while since AU, but
1 year in high school, I think you're right.
I think so,
Sydney
yeah.
was a freshman.
And then Taylor Edwards, who just received that pitch right there, went to high school, the same high school as the Romero sisters.
With her sister, Tatum.
With her twin sister, Tatum, yeah. A lot of sister connections.
2-2 long at bat here from Romero, and she just knows the zone. It's so fun to watch a hitter like Sierra, who's had such a level of success in the college game and the professional level, understand the strike zone like she does. Work the count full with 2 outs. And there's a base hit. That is a pro at bat for Sierra Romero, and it bounces away from Hayward. Romero is going to roll into second as Biancastelli has to stay put at third.
The ball's going to move a little bit faster out there to the outfielders because of the wet grass. So good piece of hitting by Sierra Romero to get that outside pitch. She took the outside pitch before, made Lexi Kilfoyle bring it a little bit more on the plate, and that error is going to cause Biancastelli to take an extra 60 feet, and Romero as well. So 2 runners in scoring position for Team McQuillin. See if Romero, too, is okay with that slide, and that's another part of having some rain coming down, is that the dirt starts to get a little bit more muddy, and you might actually get stuck whenever you slide feet or head first.
And I'm wondering, too, our umpiring crew tonight, all female for this special event, Laura Nesteriak, Jill Poole, and Tatum Stoltine, but they're kind of having conversations right now after Romero went into second. You just wonder if they're making sure everything's all right on the field. And I think that's what this conversation is.
And this is how the rain has been for pretty much 2 straight days. It's come down harder at times, especially yesterday, but today it's been kind of a light rain to a drizzle just all day long. And there's been a lot of water on the ground here in Greenville for the past couple of days.
It is somewhat of an impossible situation tonight because you have one night to get this event to go. It's such a big event for both of these programs, and the rain will not cease.
Yeah, they're going to talk it out. I know that they, too, Chucky, want to do everything that they can to get these 2 games in tonight. It's actually a miracle. It feels like that we even started this game, considering that we've had about 6 different time slots for the Little League Softball World Series games going to yesterday afternoon, and then 4 games today that were supposed to get in that just didn't happen, couldn't get off the ground.
Well, and there was supposed to be a window. The problem is with this weather that we believe is from Hurricane Debbie, is it's extremely unpredictable. If you look at the forecast, as we see the radar here, if you look at the forecast, about every 30 minutes, the percentages change on chance of rain. For the most part, it's pretty consistent that there always is one, but this window was supposed to be bigger than what we are getting right now.
He's trying to stick it out, though. And how fitting is it? It's this song, this Rain On Me song. I don't know who sings it. I can't think of it right now, but somebody's got jokes.
I'm glad you're enjoying yourself, yeah.
I have to today. This has just been one of those days that has just been so hard for everybody involved to make decisions and try to come up with the right answers and the right timing for everything.
Now the captains, Taylor McQuillin and Lexi Kilfoyle, are coming together, and I think this is also where you as a player can, and this is Athletes Unlimited, it's very much player ran, and you would think that if Taylor McQuillin, who's a veteran, says, hey, look, I don't love it, what do you think? And they would have a hand in making a decision like this.
Let's see what.
This field is awesome, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Walked the field when we came in, and it holds water incredibly well. If you walk out there right now, and it's rained all day in the outfield, if you walk out on the grass, it's not even mushy. I mean, it feels like it's just a normal dry day, but it's harder, I think, to control that on the dirt.
These college stadiums and fields are just so nice these days. It can rain just inches and inches and still be able to play within the next hour. So well taken care of. Even like decorated the entire outfield wall and behind home plate. I mean, so much Chucky has put into this event. And you just hate to see any delay or cancellation or any of it. You want to be able to get these games in because it's such a special occasion.
What are we just trying to think of, like, the technical term for this? Throwing some dry dirt out there. Is that what that is?
Yeah.
I say litter, but I don't. It's
I
definitely
think,
not.
We call it kitty litter, right?
Yeah,
It's called
that's what I was thinking.
quick dry, or I think it's quick dry.
Okay.
The official term.
Okay. We're trying to. I think this is going to end, Amanda, unfortunately, and this is what we had been dreading, but it's just the reality of the situation that the weather is a major problem due to the hurricane, and there's really not much you can do.
Hate it. Everybody working so hard. There's so many people working behind the scenes, working in front of the scenes, like you're about to see here, that will pull out the tarp, and this rain coming down. And all the little leaguers in the stands want to see some ball played.
Well, if this is the final time we see you on the air tonight, this is an extremely disappointing finish to this.
A weather delay here at Max R. Joyner Family Stadium. During this delay, though, stop by the concession stands, pick up a bite to eat, maybe stop by the pro shop, pick you up a T-shirt.
We apologize for that, but disappointing end to a really special night. It's the second ever AU Pro Games at the Little League Softball World Series. We hope that this event is one that goes on for a long, long time. They have the MLB Classic on the boys' side, and we are thrilled to be a part of this on the girls' side. We're going to clear the stadium for the moment, and we will, I believe, just go into a delay. Players, what's your go-to delay game or process?
Snacking.
Okay, what's your go-to snack?
Snacking to pass the time. Uncrustables and some beef jerky and a little Gatorade, like all of the above. How about you? What would you have during a delay? Maybe some chips mixed in there.
A fruit roll-up is coming to mind right now. Yeah.
Okay, I could do a few of those.
Yeah. All right, the Tarp's going on, and 0-0 top of the second here at the AU Pro Games in Greenville. This is the second year of this, and it was a really special event. Last year, we got to catch up with some of the players talking about that experience in the first year of this event.
I had so much fun in Greenville last year at the Little League Pro Games. Some of the feelings were definitely nostalgic for the Little League days.
As a former Little Leaguer, playing in the games last season was literally a full circle moment. For me, it was really special because the Italian team was there. Seeing them look at me and be like ecstatic to see me, or they were super emotional to see me. It's like, wow, like I really have an impact on these girls.
Little girls seeing professional softball athletes, professional women playing the same sport that they're playing on the same dirt that they're playing on is just incredible. What they're doing is the biggest stage. You know, the journey's not over. You can be a professional softball player just like we are.
How far we've come. I mean, think about the opportunity that is now there. Athletes Unlimited is a big part of that, but this event just kind of epitomizes the path that softball is taking right now and becoming a global game and showing these young athletes that there is a path forward as a professional.
Well, when I was their age, I was looking up to MLB players and Houston Astros because I'm from Houston. So I watched the Astros games and the Rocket games, and that's really who I looked up to as a young girl because I couldn't see professional softball players and really not even that much college softball. So, I mean, the steps that we've taken forward in the past 15, 20 years, but even more so in the past 5 years since Athletes Unlimited has been launched, and the exposure on ESPN and being able to have so many games at the eyes of so many young players, it's just really taken the game seemingly to the next level.
Well, the players trying to stay warm. There's Gwen Svekis, longtime pro in the dugout. They just want to play. I mean, this is such, the pros love this, I think, every bit as much as the young players do, or maybe more. And some of these pros once wore the Little League jerseys, 15 of them, Amanda.
Yeah, 15 to the 60 total players either played softball or played baseball. You hear a lot of the Little Leaguers who are competing in the World Series this year too, that some of them got started playing baseball as well, especially from the Canadian team. I heard that. So lots of familiar names from the college game that made their mark, that played 4 or 5 years at their colleges at Florida or LSU or Utah or Florida State. I mean, so many players listed here that made their mark at their universities that are now professional, but it all started in Little League.
Yeah, and it's probably their love of softball. That's when it started to blossom, like Lexi Kilfoyle, who is on this list.
My love of softball started at the age of 6, I would say. So that's when I first picked up the ball, started Little League. I actually hated my first year of softball. I did not like any part of it. I was a girly girl, and my dad actually, he stepped up and said, if I coach you next year, will you give it another shot? And so, as any girl would say, yes, of course. And so ever since that day, I just absolutely fell in love with it, and I'm super grateful. I think back to that moment all the time. I'm like, if it wasn't for him taking a chance and me taking a chance, my life could be so completely different today.
It all starts somewhere, and usually I think your parents are involved, either volunteering you, signing you up, getting you involved. Maybe they're like, hey, Lexi, or hey, Amanda, why don't you be a pitcher? I mean, it all starts somewhere at a young age, and that's what's so cool about Little League softball. And it's a big time a part of your community, too, representation.
And Savannah has more.
Lexi from Land O'Lakes Little League all the way to Greenville as a pro playing at the Little League Softball World Series. Could it be a bigger moment for you to just be able to reflect on how far you've come?
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely amazing to see how far you could go from Little League, obviously, to the highest of highs, which is pro softball or USA softball. So it's really awesome to get out here and be with the girls, be with the little girls that are knowing that these are the best times of their lives, because I know that's some of the best memories that I've had for softball.
And you told me that growing up, it never occurred to you I could do this in college, definitely not in pro. You were just doing it because you loved it.
Yeah, obviously I was a big TV watcher, didn't watch college softball, didn't watch really any kind of softball, and so I think it's awesome that these girls can come out to these games like this and kind of have big dreams and have big aspirations and say I want to be like her when I grow up, because they're actually watching us do it.
We've seen a ton of little girls running around in Lexi Kilfoyle shirts. I know that wish we had a little bit better conditions. Can you tell me what you and Taylor McQuillin were kind of talking through there before they pulled the tarp?
Yeah, obviously there's some rain right now, and it sounds like it's going to be pretty consistent right now. And so just for the safety of us players, it's going to get harder to turn in the outfield, kind of slide into bases. So just for safety, we think it's best to wait it off until it clears up.
Although we haven't got to play a lot of softball, you all have had a lot of really cool moments with the Little Leaguers. Even in their rain delays, you've got to hang out. Anything in particular that you really enjoyed, whether a moment with an athlete or getting to be a part of something this week here in Greenville?
Yeah, so a bunch of us actually got to eat lunch or breakfast and dinner with a bunch of the Little League players. So we got to kind of cross the language barrier and talk to some of the girls that may not even know our language. So we were using our phones to translate and stuff. So it was just really sweet, getting to bond with them and getting to share our story and how we got there and just ask them about their story.
Thank you, Lexi. It's been such a special week. I'm going to let you go join your team and stay dry. Chucky, Amanda, back to you.
Savannah and Lexi Kilfoyle got off to a good start. Didn't get to see her much, but a few strikeouts.
Yeah, 3 strikeouts for Lexi Kilfoyle tonight with that drop ball. It just falls off the table, and she can throw it through the zone, too. I guarantee that's a pitch that she has had since she was a Little Leaguer. One of the first pitches that she learned was that drop ball that she is so well known for.
2 outs in the second inning for Kilfoyle, and it's 0-0 Team McQuillin against Team Kilfoyle. A couple hits and a lot of 2-out hits early in this game so far, but still no runs. Lexi Kilfoyle is second on our overall leaderboard for this Athletes Unlimited Championship season. This is week 3 of 5, so still you can move a lot on this leaderboard depending on results. It's all about winning, Amanda. We talk about this all the time. You have to win to climb the leaderboard. Amanda Lorenz did the best at that last week. Her team went 2-1, and that's why she's still on top.
And Lexi Kilfoyle just a little bit behind Amanda Lorenz, but both of those players, with the exception of one day, have been in the top 2 or top 3 of the leaderboard for this entire season so far, and McQuillin has been up there consistently as well. Lorenz, Kilfoyle, and McQuillin just kind of won't leave that top 5, top 10 spot.
Just stubborn right now up
Very
there.
stubborn, and they're playing well.
Well, Dick's Sporting Goods believes that sports have the power to change lives, which is why 10 years ago it started the Sports Matter program to provide youth in under-resourced communities an opportunity to play sports. In honor of its 10th anniversary this year, the Sports Matter program launched a grant initiative totaling $2 million that will award youth sports organizations across the country with 10-year anniversary Sports Matter grants throughout 2024. Tonight, Dick's representatives and the Sports Matter program were proud to award South Little League from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, with a $25,000 Sports Matter grant as part of that initiative. So many good things going on in Greenville this weekend. The one thing we wish was going on was softball. It's the second ever AU Pro Games at the Little League Softball World Series. We are currently in a rain delay here in game 1 of 2 tonight, we hope, but it has been a problem all week, Amanda, as you know.
It has just been here and not really gone away ever since it showed up. It rained all day yesterday, it rained all day today. We had no Little League Softball World Series games played today. We're hopeful for later in the week, but we will see how it goes because the Little League Softball games have just been so good at the World Series with teams from Canada and Italy and the Philippines all representing their countries participating.
Well, we're excited to be back in Greenville for the second annual AU Pro Games at the Little League Softball World Series. During last year's games, Little League alumna Aaliyah Andrews walked it off to win the game for Team Alexander. Now we'll check out the Little League Look Back presented by Dick's Sporting Goods to see that very special moment again. Aaliyah Andrews down in the count 0-2. Into center field, in comes McQuillin. Long run, it's down! Here comes Odyssey! She scores, and Aaliyah Andrews walks it off for Team Alexander.
Oh my gosh, last season was fun, huh? Celebrating with my team it literally felt like a party. Like, just the feeling in your heart and the adrenaline that you have is the best feeling. It's like why people continue to play. It's definitely why I continue to play, because those feelings are just unmatched. It was such a full circle moment, especially because I played Little League. Being able to have that kind of excitement and bring it to the fans that were watching, all the fellow Little Leaguers that stayed. A fan came up to me and she asked for my autograph. So I signed my cleat and gave it to her, and she cried, and it made me cry. I definitely never got to experience that as a Little Leaguer, and I loved Little League. So being able to give back and be able to do that in front of other Little Leaguers was full circle and so cool, something I will cherish forever.
Love the joy that Aaliyah Andrews plays the game with. Like, she is still a kid on the field today.
Yeah, and that's why I think so many of the Little Leaguers look up to her, because she does have that youthful, joyous, happy energy that attracts so many of her teammates and so many of these younger players to want to play like her, want to be like her, and she's a good one to role model after.
And she made a catch last year in Rosemont. We were both just completely in shock, just leaping off the ground. I don't think I've ever seen like a diving catch like hers where she was in the air and kind of had to go multiple feet while floating above the ground before. It wasn't bang, bang. It was just incredible. She's outstanding.
Oh my gosh, she's so good at it. She can teach you how to lay out and dive too. I mean, just the best.
Leah Andrews, one of 15 former Little Leaguers from Oldsmar Little League. And again, this is where it starts for some of these players.
Well, the funny part of looking at her pictures is that she's right-handed in these Little League pictures. And then I'm sure what happened was, hey, you're really fast. You have some speed. What we're going to do is put you in the left-handed batter's box, and we're going to turn you into a slapper so that you can run through the box and just make contact with the ball and get down the line as fast as you can. That happens to so many 10, 11, 12, even 13-year-old players that you have speed. We're going to turn you into a slapper and be like Aaliyah Andrews.
Career best averages for Aaliyah last year. She hit 400 during the championship season, 18 hits, 3 doubles, 4 for 5 stealing bases. Awesome year, and she's off to another good start this year, and certainly the glove never sleeps in center field for Air Leah, as the fans are actually, they're having fun right now. They're making the most of this.
Yeah, they're trying to stay dry any way that they can, and it's hard on a day like today, but they're making the most of it and loving being a part of this event.
We are in a weather delay here in Greensville, North Carolina. The AU Pro Games at the Little League Softball World Series. We'll be right back. They're still loving it. It's the AU Pro Games at the Little League Softball World Series 0-0. We are in a weather delay. Let's go into the game now with the U.S. Air Force, Jessie Warren and Taylor Edwards.
Have a good day, baby. Let's get it up. Hey, hey, hey. Do you mean for you or for like the team? What do you? For both. For both? Okay. Okay. All right. Yep. Okay, great. We'll communicate.
Wave, wave, smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
Mostly I just see having a lot of fun there with Jessie Warren, but there's also that big conversation between Taylor Edwards and Lexi Kilfoyle. Taylor Edwards is so good as a catcher at communicating to all of her pitchers, making them feel really good and heard and seen. She's one of the best in the world at doing that.
They just know where the cameras are. I absolutely love it. They know exactly where the camera is. They know when the red light's on. It's awesome. They also did another thing that was really cool, and that was the players wrote letters to the team, and one of those letters was from Jessie Warren.
Hey there, my name is Jessie Warren. Dear Asia Pacific, congrats on getting to the Little League World Series. This is amazing. Have fun this week, enjoy your time on the field with one another, and play for your sisters standing to the left and right of you. You got this. I can't wait to watch you play. You guys are going to do amazing. Love, Jessie.
And that was to the team that is from the Philippines, that has made a lot of appearances here at the World Series. And a unique story really quick about the Philippines team is that they leave their families that work in the sugarcane farms, and they go to school and they play softball. They're 5 hours away sometimes from their parents, don't see them very much throughout the year, and they go to school to play softball. So their teammates that they play softball with, they are like family to them, and it's really cool to watch them compete at the World Series.
And Savannah has more on that.
Well, Team Canada and Team Italy kind of hit the jackpot when it came to quality time with the pros this week. So they were supposed to play yesterday morning, and they entered a rain delay just like we're in right now. And so everybody headed to the gym, including the AU athletes from Team Palacios, and they had an absolute blast together. They couldn't play softball, so instead they peppered a little bit with a volleyball. They shot some hoops with a basketball, and of course they made a ton of TikToks too. Those are on AU Pro Softball on TikTok, and it was just so neat to watch the AU athletes interact with the Little Leaguers, because at the end of the day, you can always tap into what it felt like to be a little girl in a rain delay just trying to pass some time. So it was great for both of those teams that didn't get to play and weren't having those big moments that they wanted to be able to get to know some of these pros. For me, outside looking in, it was especially cool to see Team Mexico huddled around Charlize and Sachelle Palacios. They just sat sat and chatted. Sachelle playing for Team Mexico in the 2020 Olympics. It was so neat to see these generations of softball players connecting and getting to spend time with each other yesterday.
Well, even when you don't speak the same language, softball and any sport really becomes a common language that you can interact and have fun and know what to do and just have so much fun. So you don't even have to speak the same language to be able to interact with the players. But I think TikTok is actually now a common language too, between even a 30-year-old and a 12-year-old playing softball too.
It's impressive. You're up to date with all the cool stuff.
Oh my,
I appreciate
yeah,
that.
right.
Well, hopefully we will catch you up to date soon on what our plan is here in Greenville. We'll step aside until weather permits, and we'll have an update for you as soon as possible. Coming up, though, it's College Game Day Featured.
Here in Rosemont, Illinois, just outside of Chicago in the summer, folks, the weekend never really ends. We're continuing AU Softball Week 3 on a Monday. 2 games coming your way. We're at Parkway Boink Sports Complex. Both games will be played tonight in front of family and friends. This is kind of bonus AU softball. Our first game will be Team McQuillin taking on Team Kilfoyle. Now, while we're playing on Monday, let's take you back to Wednesday. We were down in Greenville, North Carolina, the second annual AU Pro Games at the Little League Softball World Series. The captain, Lexi Kilfoyle, decided to start herself. She was in the circle and was dealing. 7 batters faced, 3 strikeouts until play was halted due to weather conditions with 2 outs in the second inning and no score. Now, we keep track of everything with Athletes Unlimited. You need to play every game, and that's why we are playing here today in front of family and friends on a Monday afternoon. We did play games over the weekend, 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday. The big story around Athletes Unlimited has been the play of Team Palacios. They're a 6-3 winner on Saturday against Team Kilfoyle, and they won again yesterday on Sunday afternoon. They won 3-1 against Team McQuillin. They try and go perfect 3-0 on the weekend. Wouldn't that be something for Team Palacios? Glad you have found us on an unusual Monday afternoon here in Rosemont with my partner, Danielle Laurie. I am Eric Collins, and I always like Getaway Day. The final day of every series, to me, is always the best because we get to figure out where teams and players finish on that leaderboard.
Yeah, and you kind of want to put a stamp on the weekend and kind of liven your draft stock. You can go and have a great day and maybe see yourself scoot up the leaderboard and potentially the captain say, hey, let's get her. She's hot in the last day.
Let's take a look at that leaderboard. Everything in AU revolves around the leaderboard right now. It is tighter than a tick. You got Amanda Lorenz as the top dog, but folks, she is getting pushed by Sachelle Palacios, down by just 14 points. Lexi Kilfoyle, the rookie, she's third. Tori Vidalis with a torrid start to her week. She has found herself in the 4th spot. If she can maintain a top 4 finish, she will be one of our 4 captains heading into week 4. All right, let's reset for you. Team McQuillin, same lineup order, same positions as they were back on Wednesday when this game first started. Circle Nichols Koffel, Warren Biancastelli Garcia, Sierra Romero, and we highlight Gwen Svekis because she is leading off the resumption of this game. She's going to bat with runners on at second and at third with 2 outs in the top of the 2nd inning. So we kind of inherit a very important part of our game right now. Gwen Svekis will bat against Lexi Kilfoyle, the rookie who has been a revelation so far this year, currently 3rd on the leaderboard.
She has been a phenom, carrying all that momentum over from Oklahoma State in that Women's College World Series trip. I mean, 3-2 so far on the season, and I will say she hasn't had your typical weekend, given up a couple hits, and ERA went up a little bit, but I'll tell you, she really has come in as a rookie and taken AU by storm.
It sounds a little bit different, folks. It looks slightly different here in Rosemont. It's because this is an unexpected day of game, and we have just friends and family in the building watching today. It is a beautiful day. We're going to enjoy it. Okay, so Gwen Svekis leads things off. There are 2 outs in our 2nd inning. RBI opportunity for Svekis. You got a runner on at second, Sierra Romero, and you got a runner on at third, Erica Biancastelli. Both Biancastelli and Romero with singles in our 2nd inning 5 days ago. So they haven't moved very far in 5 days, even though we've moved states and time zones and had 110 hours in between pitches. Let's do it. The resumption of our first game of week 3, and it is a called ball, a little bit outside. Danielle, is this more awkward for the hitter or the batter starting a game with a runner on at second and third and an RB opportunity for a batter?
I bet Gwen Svekis loves it. She gets to be a little leadoff here. I can't say she was a leadoff hitter a ton, so getting that opportunity with runners on, she probably loves it. And on the flip side, if you're Lexi Kilfoyle, it's kind of, obviously there's runners on and they have a little bit of that momentum, but you're going fresh at a hitter. It's a completely new day.
2-1 pitch, nubbed at the plate. We'll get to it in a bit, but there have been a whole bunch of changes for Team Kilfoyle. There haven't been any changes for Team McQuillin, so we're going to talk about the alignment and all that other kind of stuff when we get a moment, but this is an important at-bat for Gwen Svekis. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Skips in the dirt, nice block by Kayla Kowalik. Game began on Wednesday, Kowalik was actually in right field. 3-2. Swing and a miss underneath the bat of Svekis. Took a while, but the second inning, the top of it, comes to an end. 2 runners left in scoring position. When we come back, we'll take a look at Team Kilfoyle at the dish. Took a while, but she struck outside. Welcome back, everyone. This is going to be the bottom of the second inning. 20 points are on the line if Team Kilfoyle can score a run off of Taylor McQuillin. We're going to face the bottom third of the order. Bailey Klingler, Sydney McKinney, and Kayla Kowalik are going to bat here in the second inning. Way back on Wednesday when this game began, we saw, at the time, it was Victoria Hayward in the leadoff spot. She's since been replaced by Caroline Jacobson, Skylar Wallace, Sydney Romero, Claire Davidson. Hannah Borden's in the game right now, and Kelsey Stewart-Hunter is the first baseman. Hannah Borden didn't begin the game in the lineup on Wednesday. Taylor Edwards was behind the plate, but a change has been made in the 5 days between when we started and now. Taylor McQuillin, the captain of Team McQuillin, in the circle, looking for her first win of week 3.
Taylor McQuillin is someone who's been just throwing nails the last couple weekends. I mean, only left-handed pitcher here in Athletes Unlimited, 3-2 so far on this championship season. Feels like she's having one of her best seasons yet as far as consistency in the circle, location of her pitches, all the things. It's been really impressive to see.
McQuillin on the leaderboard, currently outside the top 4. She's 8th. She began the week 3rd on the leaderboard. But we always talk about how inning wins and game wins are so important. It's been case in point. Her team has not won this weekend, and she's not been able to reap the benefit. Klingler right back up the middle. Didn't hit it particularly hard, but hit it in a perfect spot. Leadoff batter aboard.
Number 26,
Bailey Klingler has just been killing it this weekend. Was 4 for 6 coming into this ups this weekend. Make that 5 for 7. So good, especially at the bottom half of the lineup, right? I can't express enough when you're able to have those type of consistent hitters.
Sydney McKinney lays the bunt down. Jesse Warren, nobody does it better. That'll be scored as sacrifice. Sacrifices are a +10, so a good job of AU softball style. Point accumulation for McKinney. Got a runner in scoring position with 1 out. Here's the number 9 hitter, Kayla Kowalik. Kayla's first time with Athletes Unlimited in a championship season. We saw her out in Wichita for AUX back in June. She's got a lot of different ways she can get this run in. Multifaceted in that left-handed batter's box.
And someone you'd say is just that true triple threat type hitter. And when you think about the catchers in this league, you're not getting a lot that have that short game, slap game down. They're usually kind of those big boppers. She was one of the fastest at Kentucky. It was so impressive to see how she would lead off these innings and just her ability to steal bases. And you're thinking, man, catcher, you're constantly using your legs, the fatigue that can have on you.
She was actually a really good track star back in high school. From San Antonio, Texas. Was on the 4x400 relay team at her high school that was very good. 400-meter dash, that's no fun. Here to tell you. 2-2, little bit outside, 3-2.
Were you a big 400-meter runner? Are
No,
we talking from experience?
That's just not easy. That's
Oh.
just, woof.
I know, I was forced into it. My father made my brother and I do it. It's the hardest race.
It's a minute-long sprint.
And you can't sprint it.
Good job by Kowalik. Works her way on with the walk. So runners on at first and at second with one out. Walks are worth 10, so plus 10 for Kowalik. Top of the order, Caroline Jacobson. This will be her first at-bat of the game. She's replacing Victoria Hayward, who had been in center field batting leadoff. Jacobson, there you see, 36th out of 60 players on the leaderboard. 2 good strikes for McQuillin.
Such a good job painting corners. I think that is really the separator pitch when she has good command of that backdoor curveball, which is away from the righties. It just makes everything that much better.
Clubbed, left center field, heading back, looking up, it's off the wall. 1 run will score. Kowalik cruises to third. It's an RBI double for Jacobson, and it's an inning win for Team Kilfoyle. Welcome to the ballgame, Caroline Jacobson.
This is a good piece of hitting. This is a pitch she got fooled on a couple pitches earlier, but kind of just meets her hands where that ball is and just laces it to left center.
First ball swinging, Skylar Wallace loops it foul.
That's clutch. I mean, Victoria Hayward has been in that leadoff spot. She has not been in the lineup the last couple days. So for Caroline Jacobson to just get inserted in the leadoff and be able to come up and have a good at-bat, that's huge.
Still just 1 out, runners on at second and third. Skylar Wallace, back on Wednesday when this game started, struck out swinging. Wallace with a good game today. If Team Kilfoyle can win some innings, maybe win a game, she's got a real good chance of being a captain. She's just on the outside looking in. She's 5th out of 60 players on the leaderboard. Popped up, left field line. Bubba Nichols makes the play. Kowalik bluffs and doesn't go, which was a good idea. 2 down. Inning has already been won by Team Kilfoyle. Plus 20 for everyone on the roster. Here's Sydney Romero. 66 miles per hour. Good pop there for McQuillin. Back-to-back steamers. 0-2.
And like I said, it's that backdoor curveball coming in. That one 66 miles an hour like the one before, but a quick 0-2 here to Sydney Romero. That's when you can kind of expand that zone a little bit, which at times in the playing against the pros can be tricky as a pitcher because you don't want a pitch that's just wasteful and out and you're not even getting a flinch of the body, but you can't have anything too close because their plate coverage really is so good.
Off the thumbs, that'll drop. Gets away from Nichols, and 2 runs will score. Romero on her way to second. She'll make it standing. Didn't hit it particularly hard, but hit it in the perfect spot. It's a 3-0 lead for Team Kilfoyle.
This is one of those 0-2 pitches. Listen, this is in on the hands. This is a complete jam job. Bubba Nichols lays it all out there. We've seen her have so many web gems in left field. Morgan Zirkle had her back to be able to get that, but a couple more big-time runs here for Kilfoyle. But to me, that's an example when I say like those 0-2 pitches can be the trickiest. That wasn't a horrible spot. She really got jammed. That was hard in on her hands. Sometimes the strength of these hitters, they're able to just get their hands through it.
They scored a double, so plus 20 for Sydney. She probably didn't remember, but that's her second double of the game. She had a double back on Wednesday when this game started in Greenville, North Carolina. Probably the first time in Sydney Romero's great career that she has had 2 doubles in 2 different states in the same game. She's done a lot of things. National champion in Oklahoma. She's seen it all, but she's never done that before. Oh my goodness. Claire Davidson is hit and will take first base. Second time that McQuillin has hit Davidson here in this game. She hit her in the first inning back in Greenville on Wednesday.
And just gets that elbow guard. Like you said, it shouldn't count, right? If it hits you, you just stay right there if you've got Terminator gear on.
I don't think any hitter would agree with me, but I think most pitchers would not be upset with that. If you're wearing gear and you get hit, stay in the batter's box. It's never going to happen. Here's Hannah Borden. Borden playing today. Taylor Edwards not in market, so Borden's going to get an opportunity. Played her college ball down in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Southern Miss. McQuillin quickly gets ahead 0-2. This is the 8th batter of the inning. Bailey Klingler, a single. Sadie McKinney laid down a successful sacrifice bunt. Kayla Kowalik walked. Jacobson drove in a pair with a double. After the fly-up by Wallace, Sydney Romero drove in a pair with a double. Looped foul into that Bermuda Triangle. We'll do it again. Borden played 5 years of college softball at Southern Miss, hit 50 collegiate homers. And oh, by the way, she can juggle. Swing and a miss. Taylor McQuillin strikes her out, but a productive second inning for Team Kilfoyle. They score 3 runs and take a 3-0 lead to the 3rd. Athletes Unlimited Pro Softball is sponsored by Dick's Sporting Goods. This week began in Greenville, North Carolina. Little League Softball World Series, second consecutive year that Athletes Unlimited, a part of that, tried to play 2 games on Wednesday. Only got the first inning and a half in the books. Rain was in the mix. We had to move those games to right now. We're finishing off week 3 by playing a game that started week 3 on Wednesday down in Greenville, North Carolina. 3-0 lead for Team Kilfoyle. First ball swinging, Jadalyn Alchin. Lazy fly ball to left. McKinney makes the play. 1 pitch, 1 out. When this game began, McKinney was playing second base. She's been moved out to left field. There's only one player, besides the pitcher, Lexi Kilfoyle, who was still playing the same defensive position that they began the game in on Wednesday. It's the first baseman, Kelsey Stewart-Hunter.
I thought you were going to quiz me.
Well, that's one of the things that's great about Athletes Unlimited is you have to be versatile. There's only a certain amount of players on every team, and so every week you got to be able to play left, right, and center if you're an outfielder. You got to be able to play multiple infield positions. We see Kayla Kowalik, who's an outfielder, but also catches. It's pretty cool. Morgan Zirkle. Two balls and a strike to Zirkle. Zirkle has been the most selective hitter this year with Athletes Unlimited. She's walked 7 times. 2-2.
I feel like the leadoff hitters have just been such tough outs when you think of some of these teams, and Morgan Zirkle and the battles that she has. Think about Aubrey Leach the other day and just the ups that she was able to have as well. Amanda Lorenz. It's been some tough leadoff hitters that really just set the tone.
Lexi Kilfoyle. She was unbelievable the first 2 weeks, the numbers she was able to put up. Called strike 3. That is now 5 strikeouts, 10 batters into the game for Kilfoyle. Let's check in with Savannah Collins.
Well, this Orange lineup looks a little different than it did on Wednesday. They have some absences and some players right now that are active with limitations. So when it came to rebuilding this team for today, the first priority was who's going to play center field. So they had to shift Caroline Jacobson over. She did a great job replacing Vic Hayward earlier in the week. What they saw from her, just being able to get to balls, especially in right center field, that a veteran like Vic they trust to do, and she's filling in that role. But then they had to fill somebody to replace her, and that's Sydney McKinney, who we know to be a true second baseman. I asked Sid, how do you feel today filling in that spot? She has experience last season filling in the outfield. She said, you know, the biggest thing for me is communicating with Skylar Wallace and the rest of my infield. She goes, you know, being a second baseman, I'm used to that communication coming from behind me. So I had to take on the role of being that person today. So for her, it's all about talk as one of those many athletes who's been shifted around since this game started on Wednesday earlier in the week.
Thank you, Savannah. And we were looking at Emily Carasoni, who's the facilitator for Team Kilfoyle. Emily, really good player in her own right, wearing that same orange when she was an Auburn Tiger. Bubba Nichols is the batter. On the ground is short. Sydney Romero, 2 down. Apologize, that's 3 down. Quick inning. Fly to left, strikeout, and Bubba Nichols grounds out. Kilfoyle dealing. It's the bottom of the 3rd inning. Team Kilfoyle leads Team McQuillin 3-0. This is the continuation of a game that was halted on Wednesday, originally started in Greenville, North Carolina. This half inning, we're going to talk to just one of the pioneers, one of the players who was rock solid ever since we started this AU stuff in Rosemont in 2020. Morgan Zirkle is going to join us. She's out in center field. She has been a perennial top 10 finisher almost every year that she's been involved with Athletes Unlimited. Hey, Morgan, how you doing out there in center field?
I'm doing good. It's a little different today with not much crowd and resuming a game we did earlier in the week, but it's another day to play softball.
Should remind you a little bit of what it was like back in 2020 when we had that bubble situation with COVID.
Yeah.
Remember, we had no fans for the 30 games that we played.
Yeah, that was wild. So.
Don't know if I told you, but that microphone's a magnet for the ball.
It is.
Good catch.
Morgan, you were the first player to hit the 100-game mark through AUX and champ season games. How did that kind of moment feel, being the first one?
It was just really cool to know that, you know, we've been a part of something really cool to start here, and, you know, I'm able to stay and continue to do it. It's incredible.
Bailey Klinger is the batter, 1 out. New pitcher is Alyssa Denham. Morgan Zirkle is directly behind her out in center field. Scalded, but right into the glove of Bubba Nichols. Hey, Morgan Zirkle, happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you, thank you.
How many people here with your team and with Athletes Unlimited know that it's actually your birthday?
I would say pretty much everyone here. This has been the 2nd year in a row I've played an AU softball game on my birthday, so nowhere else to be.
Morgan, with being the head coach at Marshall and having this season where you're here for close to 6 weeks, how do you kind of communicate with, you know, the athletes at Marshall, just little things like that?
Yeah, we have video calls, and I think most of them are driving actually to campus tomorrow or today even, as they start freshman stuff. So really, first week, we're just gonna like talk to them, you know, have some meetings and get them situated, get them in the weight room and all that. And then, you know, next week, I guess their second week of school, we'll be back from AU and get going.
Sydney McKinney is the batter.
She is.
Kind of appropriate that we're talking to Sydney McKinney with you out there. You hired her to be on your staff. What was the thing that impressed you that said, I want to have her working with me?
I mean, she led the country in batting average last year in college, and to have someone, a high-level mid-major athlete that wanted to get into coaching and playing with her, I had a really great experience and wanted to add another role model to my staff that, you know, was super elite at that level and can teach our athletes a lot.
Coming into year 5, I feel like I always ask these types of questions, but was there anything you wanted, like any goals besides trying to win this thing that you were coming into year 5?
I didn't really have any specific. I mean, I always have, you know, I want to bat above 300.
Yes.
I want on base, this and that. But really, it was just to enjoy the experience. You know, very few people get to be a head coach and play and do what they love. So I just wanted to soak in the reps that I get to take myself and just have fun out here doing what I get to do in a uniform for a little bit.
Do you, by chance, work out with the team at all when they're lifting weights or doing any of their conditioning? Do you ever join them?
Well, last year I was at 6 a.m., so I didn't like to show up every day. But this year we have weights later in the day, so I definitely want to jump in there some.
Great inning. Thank you, Morgan. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
To the 4th we go. 3-0, Team Kilfoyle. Top of the 4th inning. Team McQuillin has not scored. Team Kilfoyle scored all 3 of their runs in the 2nd inning. This inning is going to be worth 20 to whoever outscores the other. The 77th Annual Little League Baseball World Series in Williamsport, Pennsylvania gets underway on Wednesday with an opening round quadruple header on ESPN and ESPN Plus. It all starts at 1 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific with Aruba taking on Mexico. It'll be Aaron Koffel, Jesse Warren, Erica Biancastelli batting here in the 4th inning against Lexi Kilfoyle, who has looked elite once again. Kilfoyle began the day 3rd on the leaderboard.
I'd be curious if you were to do a poll in this Athletes Unlimited if these hitters would prefer to face a 70-mile-an-hour rise ball up in the zone, or if they'd rather face someone who's throwing 68 to 70 hard down in the zone, right? Like, you just look at the success of Kilfoyle with that hard down and how good she's been.
Nice job by Skylar Wallace to field and fire. That is now 5 consecutive retired by Kilfoyle since this game was resumed in the top of the 2nd inning.
We actually haven't even seen Lexi have to throw as many changeups as she normally has. She's been getting these hitters out and them swinging at that drop ball, utilizing the ground and her defense. I'm not going to say that she hasn't had her moments where she's got roughed up. She's had times she's got hit pretty hard this weekend and has had to pass the baton, but I think you always kind of go through those lumps and bumps at times as a rookie too, especially in the midweek of the 5-week season. At that halfway point, you're going to see hitters really try to adjust.
Kilfoyle has pitched the most innings here with Athletes Unlimited by far. She began this game 30 and a third innings, allowing 29 hits and 23 strikeouts. Big number always when you're talking about pitchers with Athletes Unlimited is the amount of home runs they've given up. Kilfoyle hasn't given up any. She's pitched the most innings and is yet to give up a home run. That's huge. Jesse Warren checks her swing. Ball hits the bat. It's 2-2.
I will say, not seeing as many homers.
Very true.
Using the college bats now. That's a rule here in Athletes Unlimited. So you're not using that pro bat.
On the ground to third. Scooped up by Klingler. One third baseman throws out the other. 2 down. Season 5 is here, and the AU Pro Shop has you covered with the latest softball gear. Check out our online store at shop.auprosports.com. It's the destination for player merchandise and exclusive styles you won't find anywhere else. 6 in a row retired by Kilfoyle. Erica Biancastelli called strike 1. And with the way the bats have been muted this year, Erica Biancastelli's 9-homer season back in 2020, that's going to be hard to beat in years to come. Biancastelli had 9 homers, 46 total bases in 15 games. Total bases when you add up singles, doubles, triples, and homers. That's how you get total bases. Sinking liner caught in left field by McKinney, and the side is retired. Kilfoyle continues to excel. She's retired 7 in a row. We've got 20 points on the line, Team Kilfoyle. If they win this inning, they will have a plus 40 for the game for winning the first, second, third, and the fourth. Skylar Wallace will hit second here in our 4th inning. She's wearing a microphone. Let's go into the game now with the U.S. Air Force, and here's Skylar Wallace.
Super quiet. Let's hear you, Rosemont! Woo! It's just this game. There's the energy's not here, but we can create contagious energy and have a lot of fun and get after it, okay? No. No. Pick me up.
I like Skylar Wallace's sense of humor.
Let's go, Rosemont.
This is a continuation of a game that was halted from Wednesday down in Greenville, North Carolina, so only family and friends are in the building today. So you have to create your own juice, and Skylar Wallace is making it funny. Caroline Jacobson leads things off and pops it straight up. That'd be a home run in a phone booth. Catch is made by Sierra Romero. Jacobson didn't start the game, but she had maybe the biggest hit of our game. The resumption of our game in the second inning, she had a RBI double that won the second inning and has given the lead to Team Kilfoyle, which they've now expanded to 3-0. Skylar Wallace bunts it foul. Just heard Wallace give kind of the play-by-play when pitches were coming. She'd say no, no, when she thought it was a ball. I'm not sure umpires love that.
I mean, sometimes it gives you that little, okay, I'm going to go for it, or no, I'm not.
0-2 to Wallace.
Sometimes the umpires believe you.
Okay.
No, no way. All right, yeah, you're right. That looked off. It's a ball.
On the ground, backhanded by Warren! Throw is off the mark, and Wallace is safe. She'll move into scoring position. Now, the fielding of Jessie Warren was on point. The throw was not as good.
This is a good pick by Jessie Warren, and it was such a hot shot. Honestly, Eric, I feel like she could have been able to get up to make the solid throw across the diamond. Those are the ones where you're like, man, help me out. Pick me one here. Rachel Garcia just not able to pick it cleanly.
It's ruled an error on Jessie. Not a base hit, so just a error. Wallace goes to second. The fact that it's ruled an error is of consequence to both Skylar Wallace, she doesn't get any points, and also Alyssa Denham. If Wallace comes around to score, it will not be an earned run. Earned runs against pitchers are -10. Here's Sydney Romero. Romero's had a good game. We're only in the 4th inning. She's got a pair of doubles. If people remember what she did on Wednesday, she's going to be sitting pretty when it comes to MVP points, you'd think. In the air right field, Biancastelli makes the catch. Tagging and going to third is Wallace. 2 down. All right, so this game was started by Taylor McQuillin. She threw the first 2 innings, gave up 3 runs in the second. She's been replaced by Alyssa Denham, who has pitched third and now the 4th.
Yeah, and Taylor McQuillin and Alyssa Denham, they're both locked in. They complement each other really well. One is a left-handed pitcher, one is that tall righty. The one thing I can say about Alyssa Denham, God, she is just as consistent as ever year to year. Someone that's not going to blow you away with velocity, but the attention to hitting great spots and changing speeds is definitely her bread and butter. 19 innings so far.
Denham over the years has been top shelf. Each of the last 2 championship seasons, she finished as the runner-up, 2022, 2023. Literally doesn't get much better than that. 2nd out of 60 players each of the last 2 seasons. Claire Davidson, 10th time in Athletes Unlimited championship season history when a player has been hit twice in a game. That's what she's got going for her. It would be a record if she gets hit for a 3rd time today. You can't complain when you get hit. You get a +8, right? Lexi Kilfoyle is now 2nd on our leaderboard, only 10 points behind Amanda Lorenz. Kilfoyle has thrown 4 shutout innings. You get 4 points for every out recorded. Look at Denham showing some emotion. She strikes out Claire Davidson and strands Wallace at 3rd. To the 5th we go, 3-0 Team Kilfoyle. So far, so good for Team Kilfoyle. They scored 3 runs in the 2nd inning, and they lead 3-0. We're now in the 5th. Our Sunday night baseball game is the 7th annual MLB Little League Classic from Williamsport, Pennsylvania at historic Bowman Field. It's the series finale between the Yankees and the Tigers, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on ESPN and ESPN Deportes, with a special Kids Cast edition over on ESPN2. Our coverage begins 6 Eastern with baseball tonight, Sunday night countdown on ESPN. With Danielle Laurie and Savannah Collins. I'm Eric Collins. Rachel Garcia. This is her first at bat in this game in about 110 hours. She batted in the 2nd inning in Greenville, North Carolina on Wednesday against Lexi Kilfoyle and struck out swinging. Little chopper. It's going to be a tough play for Klingler. She makes it look routine. That's what a Washington Husky can do over there at 3rd base.
Is that time for me to say a little go Dogs?
I thought you would.
Yeah. This is good. She picks it right off the turf, makes it look so easy. It's a tough play.
Kilfoyle has not allowed a base runner here in Rosemont. Before we halted the game on Wednesday, she had allowed 2 of the last 3 batters to reach with singles, Biancastelli and Romero. Then the resumption of this game, she's retired everyone in order. Sierra Romero, her first at bat of the resumption of the game, flies out to left field. 2 outs here in the 5th inning. All right, Danielle, you've seen enough of Lexi Kilfoyle. How is she doing what she's doing as just a true rookie playing at this level?
Well, I mean, you carry over a different type of momentum from your college season, right? She logged a lot of innings for Oklahoma State, so that does not go away. But I think just her stuff is unique. It just goes to show how good of a pitcher she really is. Like, she has that true, hard, heavy drop. And I do say, if you ask most hitters, they'd rather face someone that throws heavy up than that hard down. It's really hard to adjust to 70 miles an hour down at your shins where you're trying to hit it and then you're fouling it off into your ankle. We've seen how many do that. So it just comes down to that and repetitions. But to me, it's this level of confidence that we've seen her have with Taylor Edwards, who's not here today, but just that good battery connection too helps her.
She reminds me a lot of another former Oklahoma State Cowgirl who dominated as a rookie here at Athletes Unlimited, Carrie Eberly.
Yeah, she was actually coached by
Hard
Carrie
down,
Eberly.
just the way she sets up and rubs her right hand against her right thigh, pulls the ball back behind her right hip before she goes into her motion. Very similar to what Carrie Eberly did, and the same type of result. Eberly was a double play waiting to happen.
Rookie of the year, Carrie Eberly.
She was
I mean,
sensational.
Yeah, another example of a hard drop ball pitcher where hitters have a tough time adjusting.
Eberly also transferred into Oklahoma State late in her college experience, just like Kilfoyle did. Gwen Svekis, 2-out walk. That's the first base runner since the resumption of this game in the top of the second inning. Jadalyn Alchin is the batter. Alchin flew out to left field. That's back in the third inning. Softly right side. Underhand flip by Wallace, and that will do it for the top of the fifth inning. Team Kilfoyle leads Team McQuillin 3-0.
My parents have supported me every step of the way, from Little League all the way to pro.
The 2023 George and Barbara Bush Little League Parents of the Year Award recipients, congratulations to Colin and Trish Sandercock.
I am so grateful to Little League for that award because my parents deserve it so much. They have gone above and beyond for me my entire life and my entire playing career. They're certainly the kind of people that if I had a dream as a little kid, they were going to say, okay, let's make it happen. And they made so much happen for me, so much love and sacrifice throughout my career. They're so happy to do it. They're so proud of me, and I'm just very grateful for them.
That's really cool. We love being back in Greenville for a second annual AU Pro Games at the Little League Softball World Series last week. During last year's games, Kat Sandercock's parents, Colin and Trish, were named the George and Barbara Bush Little League Parents of the Year. That's really neat. Lexi Kilfoyle is our new leader. With the 5 shutout innings she has thrown, she has jumped on top of Amanda Lorenz by 2 points. Leader by 2. This is the final day of games for week 3. We'll have a draft tomorrow and start week 4 on Friday. And Lexi Kilfoyle is sitting pretty good to be a captain for week 4. Off-speed pitch, a beauty. Hannah Borden will be followed by Kelsey Stewart-Hunter and Bailey Klingler against Alyssa Denham. 2-2.
Such a good pitch by Alyssa Denham, that off-speed curve, 56 miles an hour.
Into center field, struck well. Zirkle goes back, it's gone, a homer! Hannah Borden, her first professional homer, makes it a 4-0 lead. Hey! First AU hit is a homer for Hannah Borden.
Well, and she's on time with the pitch. She got fooled big time her last swing. This is a 51-mile-an-hour off-speed curveball. Exit velo off the bat, coming in hot at 75 miles an hour, 255 feet dead center. That has to feel so good. First hit, little solo shot.
That means that Team Kilfoyle has just won the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th inning. This was a 30-point inning. That's got to feel great for Hannah Borden. And the trend continues. We've now had 17 home runs, Danielle, 17 home runs in this championship season, hit by 16 different players. Only one player has 2 homers. That's Charlize Palacios. It's almost mathematically like impossible that happening.
Yeah.
I bet if you put it into someone, you know, John Spade is the great math man. I mean, if you put it in someone's computer, it's impossible to have 17 home runs hit by 16 different players. If you got enough power to hit a homer, you should hit 2 or 3 or something like that and separate yourself from the pack, but it hasn't happened.
Well, I will say that the depth of these athletes is pretty intense, but more importantly, I'm looking at the pitchers, and I think they've just done a whole lot better of a job than maybe in the past. Like, they've all come out in their A game, and they are tough to face, but you can't not talk about the fact that they have changed from the pro bats to the college bats. That does play a little bit into not getting through everything.
Jesse Warren makes the play. That's the first out. Let's check in with the happy home run hitter. Hannah Borden is standing by with Savannah.
Hannah getting put into the lineup today, getting the opportunity and taking advantage of it. Your first pro hit is a home run. Does it get any better than that?
No, it doesn't. That was awesome. Just a great feeling.
Was there a plan that you stepped in with for this season?
I mean, no, not really. Just came to do, you know, what I know how to do. Stewie, you know, is behind me on deck calming me down, so that helped. But yeah, just came here to play the game and have fun.
Thanks, Hannah. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Great stuff. Man, you're not going to forget that. First professional homer, and it comes against Alyssa Denham. Bailey Klingler is the batter. She singled and scored back in the 2nd inning, also lined out to left field back in the 3rd inning. That was against Alyssa Denham. On the ground to 3rd. Warren throws her out. Jude on bases clear. Sydney McKinney's next. Well, Team McQuillin's going to have to hustle to get something productive happening. They've lost the first 5 innings. They're down 4-0. Running out of time to pick up points as we close out week 3. That gets past Jesse Warren. McKinney stops at first, 2-out single. Maybe a running opportunity for McKinney. 2 outs. The number 9 hitter, Kayla Kowalik, is the batter. Looking at the line for McKinney, she sacrificed bunted for 10 points in the 2nd. She singled in the 3rd and now singles here in the 5th. It's been a good day. Kowalik swings to the first pitch, hits it to left field. Bubba Nichols makes the catch. Side is retired.
Well, not before the rookie, Hannah Borden. The off speed, 51 miles an hour. Just takes it 255 feet for her first hit. Let's go.
WNBA Olympic break ends Thursday, and we'll have the Liberty and the Sparks on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN app. Coverage begins at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific time. Since the resumption of this game with 2 outs in the 2nd inning, game started on Wednesday in Greenville, North Carolina. Since the resumption, we have had 1 base runner for Team McQuillin. It was a 2-out walk to Gwen Spekas in the 5th. That's it. Maybe the best opportunity for Team McQuillin. They've got the leadoff batter, Morgan Zirkle, followed by Bubba Nichols and Aaron Koffel. Running out of time.
And I think something, too, to just kind of highlight is Kayla Kowalik behind the plate, right? Like, you look at, these are 2 young players. This is a rookie in Lexi Kilfoyle, And this first time this year playing for her behind the dish, but to be able to call pitches for Lexi has been a big deal, right? You're having these two athletes that are coming off of college seasons where not so much Kayla Kowalik, because she was a grad assistant, but Lexi Kilfoyle didn't call her own game. Everything was coming from the coaches. That's why she had put a lot of trust in Taylor Edwards, had really connected with her, and now she's getting the opportunity to throw to Kayla Kowalik because Taylor Edwards is not an option today, and I think she's done such a good job of calling solid pitches for her. They've gotten good rhythm.
Morgan Zirkle's on. First time the leadoff batter has been aboard against Kilfoyle all game. Let's check in with Savannah.
Well, Danielle, I love what you mentioned about Kayla calling this game, because I asked her about that coming into this season, and she said the biggest point of growth for her in that area was calling pitches for Ali Carta with Team USA. Being with a veteran pitcher like that to help her build her confidence behind the dish has been huge for her. And this is the part of the game that she actually really enjoys. We know she can play outfield too, but she likens being a catcher like being the QB, controlling the game, setting the pace, and being the person that you lock in with your defense with to try and keep the game going in your favor. I love that you brought that up, because it's something that she's really been working on as she continues to become a more sophomore and seasoned pro.
Yeah, I love that. There's such a fun piece to...
Double play ball. Oh, and the shortstop, Romero, lost it in the gloves. They had to settle for just the force out at second. Nichols safe at first.
I mean, there's something cool about being able to get that type of experience too for her, for Kowalik with Ali Carta, and getting to pick her brain. I mean, she's been with Team USA for a while, went to the 2021 Olympic Games where they got silver medals. So I think those are where you learn, because in college, you know, Coach Lawson for Kentucky was calling pitches. It wasn't Kayla Kowalik. So it is an adjustment, and I hate that that these women have to come in and navigate those kind of uncharted waters, because in college everything's kind of given you on a platter. Hey, I'm going to call this game for you, and obviously the pitcher can say yes or no if they want to throw something, but you've taken that thinking piece out. And when you get to this level, that's a high softball IQ that you need to be able to recognize how to do all of those things.
Koffel smokes it deep to left field and gone! A homer for Aaron Koffel. The first 2 runs of the game for Team McQuillin. Aaron Koffel's second home run of the season. And it is a 4-2 ball game. That's the first home run allowed by Kilfoyle all year.
Well, 47 miles an hour, off-speed pitch, on time with it, not fooled whatsoever. And like you said, the first home run that she's given up. Welcome to the pros. It happens.
Team Kilfoyle still up 4-2, but now that double play ball that wasn't turned looms large. Maybe it would have been a solo home run if Sydney Romero would have got the ball out of the glove. She couldn't. Obviously no error. They did get the force out at second, but they didn't turn 2, and so instead of a solo home run, it's a 2-run home run, and things a little bit dicey. Jesse Warren, the batter. Jesse still holds the record for highest batting average in the history of Athletes Unlimited. She had 5'10" back in 2020. That's right, 5'10", folks. Let's check in with Savannah.
Aaron, off-speed pitch, but you were perfectly on time. Take me through the plan and that AB.
Yeah, I mean, they started me the same way. I pitch out again, and I'm not seeing that too well right now, but I was expecting something off-speed because that's been the pattern so far, so I was kind of sitting that, and I got it, so.
Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Aaron Koffel was expecting off-speed because she noticed a pattern. Wow, that's pretty cool. That's pretty professional.
Well, and you have to think that way at this level, right? At times, it's okay to guess if you guess right. And you start to kind of pick up on little things where you've seen pitchers have success. And at the end of the day, as a pitcher, if someone even knows what's coming, you execute a good pitch, sometimes you're still going to get those hitters out. But I like just hearing the thought process behind Aaron Koffel and guessing a little bit and expecting.
1-2 pitch from Kilfoyle. Right back to the pitcher. 2 down. That's the first home run allowed by Kilfoyle, and it comes in the final day of our 3rd week of play. Came into this game with 30 innings. This is the 6th, so she's pitched 35 plus innings and given up 1 home run. Obviously 35 innings is the equivalent of 7 full games. My math's terrible. 5 full games.
I mean, you're just doing it on live television. I think I'm going to do it in the commercial break and then make sure
7 inning games, 35, divide 5. Okay, 5 full games. Erica Biancastelli. Called strike. 1-2.
I like getting the chance to talk with her yesterday. She was our star in the stands, got to talk shop a little bit just about hitting. Said when she's off tempo, just to focus on her legs, her being able to utilize the ground, that's just a key component in the success of her swing. And I've always just loved it. She has that high leg kick, a lot of pop, a lot of power.
Slices it right side and out of play. Good attempt there by Claire Davidson.
And just so pretty with that leg kick. Kind of her extension through. She's just pure hitter.
Team McQuillin seemed to approach the 6th inning with a bit of desperation. They hadn't had a base hit. They hadn't won an inning. But they had a good chance, starting with Morgan Zirkle leading off the frame. The leadoff hitter got a single. Bubba Nichols hit into a force out, and then the 2-run home run by Aaron Koffel. Now they need to make it hold up. Trying to win an inning and get some points next to their names. It's been a weird week for Taylor McQuillin. So successful of the first 2 series, in danger of losing all 3 games this week. Shortstop Romero throws out Biancastelli's side, retired.
Well, not before Miss Erin Koffel steps up. It's her 2nd home run of this championship season, tying Charlize Palacios. Both these ladies have 2, the only one in AU.
This is the first of 2 games we will play here at Parkway Bank Sports Complex, Rosemont, Illinois. Athletes Unlimited Softball continues at 6:30 Eastern later today. Team Lorentz going to take on Team Palacios. That'll be on ESPNU. Team Palacios trying to sweep the weekend. Caroline Jacobson bats against Alyssa Denham. It'll be Jacobson, Skylar Wallace, and Sydney Romero. Inning points on the line. Team Kilfoyle scored twice here in the top of the 6th inning. Jesse Warren with great range throws a bullet across the diamond. 1 down.
Second baseman, number 71, Skylar Wallace.
Now experience AU Pro Softball in person right here in Rosemont, Illinois. Next Friday is our Dog Days of Summer Night, featuring an AU Dog Bandana giveaway for the first 250 fans. Go to auprosports.com to buy your tickets now.
I'm going to try to get in on that. Love a couple
It's
dog
amazing
bandanas.
how many dogs are owned by players that have
man.
been here for the 5 weeks of the season.
I know, I wish it was in the media guide.
Yeah, that's right.
I would like to know the names and what dogs everyone has to see if like the dogs represent the owners. That's Victoria Hayward's dog. That's Moose.
That's on my bucket list to see a moose. Does that count? No. No.
I mean, if you say so, it's your bucket list.
That moose doesn't count. Skylar Wallace. Three balls and a strike. Alyssa Denham in the circle. She came on back in the third inning, replacing Taylor McQuillin. Two former Arizona Wildcat pitchers in the circle today for Team McQuillin. 5-pitch walk to Wallace. That's the first walk allowed by Denham. Okay, game within the game. This is an important at bat for Sydney Romero. Her team already leads 4-2. Obviously, they'd love to win this inning and get some more points. But Sydney Romero's got 2 doubles. Her double in the second inning drove in a pair of runs. She gets another hit right here, and she's definitely in the running for one of the 3 MVPs. Will it get through? Knocked down to the ground by her sister, Sierra Romero. Heading over to third goes Wallace, and she's out! That's going to be a base hit for Sydney Romero, and out on the bases is Wallace getting greedy, trying to head to third. So the third hit of the afternoon for Sydney Romero.
Well, and this is a really good job by Sierra Romero to knock this down, but I think more importantly, Erin Koffel to go get it, and the throw is on the money to Jesse Warren, right where it needs to be. The tag applied right in front of the base. That's so good. It's so bang, bang.
Call on the field is out at third. Team Orange is challenging the call.
Team Kilfoyle is going to challenge that call. I guess why not? They have the opportunity to do so. They're going to challenge, but for the most part, challenges have not been successful this year, and I don't think that one's going to be successful either.
1 for 15.
Oof!
But I mean, if you got them, use them.
Yeah.
Maybe the tables will turn.
Yeah, the ball definitely beats Wallace.
Yeah, she's out.
And the tag is right there. That's just wishful thinking on that challenge.
After further review, the call on the field is upheld.
Okay, so the call on the field is upheld. We move on. 2 outs. Sydney Romero on its second. That's officially scored a single for Sydney Romero. She's now 3 for 4 with 2 doubles, 2 runs batted in. It's going to be a big moving day for Sydney. 50 points in stat points, plus all the inning wins, 5 so far. She's already got 100 points, and that doesn't even determine the winner of the game or possible MVP 1, 2, or 3, which she could get. We're going to have a pinch hitter coming on. Claire Davidson was scheduled to hit, but she'll be lifted. This is going to be Sarah Willis. Willis, a two-way player. We've seen her in the circle this weekend. Actually got the win in yesterday's game for Team Kilfoyle. She's got the win and a blown save. Some people call that a vulture. She came in, tried to save the game, and she spit the bit, gave up the lead, but stayed in long enough to get the win. This is the first at-bat of the season for Sarah Willis. Two balls and a strike. Willis did bat a little bit out in Wichita for the AUX season. Said 6 at-bats with a homer. Little number, Denham. Underhand flip side is retired. So it's an inning win for Team McQuillin. They win the 6th inning. It's their first inning won all day long. Athletes Unlimited Pro Softball is sponsored by Dick's Sporting Goods. Yeah. It was a special week that began in Greenville, North Carolina, Little League Softball World Series. Everyone associated with Athletes Unlimited was in Greenville. Rain didn't allow the games to be played to their conclusion, but still everyone says worthwhile trip, no doubt about it. Now, folks, if you'd like the chance to win a softball autograph by every one of the AU Pro Softball athletes, you can. Go to auprosports.com/enter to register to win today. Rachel Garcia leads things off. Garcia, Romero, Svekis batting against Lexi Kilfoyle, trying to finish off a win. First pitch swinging, Garcia to the shortstop, Romero. One down. Garcia more than likely is going to finish 0 for 3 today. The way that it works, if Team McQuillin cannot score, we will not play the bottom of the 7th inning. The 7th inning will be won by Team Kilfoyle without them even going to the batter's box. So Team McQuillin needs to score to keep the hope of winning the 7th alive and keep the hope of winning the game alive. 4-2 here in the 7th inning. One ball, one strike to Sierra Romero.
We did see a lead for Team Kilfoyle yesterday going into the 7th. Then they ended up having to go play extras and came away with the 50 points that you get for winning the game, but not those rollover inning points where they had 50 points that were given to that other team, which in those moments is definitely kind of frustrating. You think about.
Into center field, Willits back to the wall. It is gone, a homer. Sierra Romero, her second homer of the weekend. And it's a one-run game. Third home run of the game.
Listen, it's 230 to dead center. And both home runs that have been hit off of Lexi Kilfoyle have been dead center off the change. 52 miles an hour. This goes 235 feet. Just makes it over.
That was almost an incredible catch by Jacobson. Second homer for Romero. So it's Romero, Koffel, and Charlize Palacios now atop the leaderboard in homers with 3.
Well, you see Jacobson so close.
Oh,
I thought
goodness.
she had it. You see her look to her mitt like, I think I got it. Tracks it so well. It just gets over. She's like, man, maybe.
Svekis fouls it. 2-2. So even if Team McQuillin does not score another run and doesn't win this game, we will still play the bottom of the 7th inning just to see who wins this 7th inning. Every inning is worth 10 points. There's some confusion over the count. Scoreboard says 2-1. I believe Gwen Svekis thinks it's 1-2.
Caleb, what's he done?
Yeah. I think that Gwen Svekis has really never met anyone who didn't like her. She's buddy-buddy with all the umpires, smiling through the confusion. 2-2. All right, starting to get interesting. We've got activity in the bullpen for the first time in a long while for Team Kilfoyle. Looks like it's Peyton Gottschall, just in case. swung on and missed. Maybe tipped into the catcher's glove. There are now 2 outs.
It's a tough pitch by Lexi Kilfoyle. And sink style, dirty drop. Just drops off the table. And a pitch that you would look at and go, man, why is she swinging at that? It's so low in the zone, but it's just so deceptive. The spin, it looks like it's up, and it just bites at the last minute.
Oh, this is interesting. Wouldn't this just be a Cinderella moment? We're going to have a pinch hitter with 2 outs and the bases clear in a 1-run game. It's going to be Jordan Rudd-Lee batting for the first time all season. Talk about pressure. Good luck. I know you haven't played in 3 weeks, but you're going to bat against one of the best pitchers in the world today with 2 outs in the 7th inning in a 1-run game.
Well, and if you're Lexi Kilfoyle, that's the mentality. She has not gotten an opportunity to hit. She hasn't hit off me, so it's just pump strikes, utilize that drop ball.
It's not only her first at bat, but her first appearance in any game, defensively, offensively, anything.
And it's hard to hit a drop ball out of a ballpark. And that's why you've seen the 2 home runs that Kilfoyle's given up today. They've been on that off speed that's been a little bit up in the zone. If I'm Lexi, I'm just going to stick with that drop ball, but whether or not she just is having a little bit of a tougher time commanding that pitch for a strike, maybe that's why she's gone to the change a little more. But this is where you see maybe the younger minds have to go at it here. Like, this is a very vet-heavy Athletes Unlimited. You have some rookies for sure, but this is where they got to put their thinking caps on and how they're going to go and attack.
Already 1 run is scored here in the 7th inning. The solo homer by Sierra Romero. 2 runs scored in the 6th inning for Team McQuillin on the home run by Aaron Koffel. So after not giving up home runs through the first 35 innings of the season, Kilfoyle's given up 2 homers in the last 2 innings. Game should end right here. All right, it's a win for Team Kilfoyle. We will play the bottom of the 7th inning. We still have to play for the 7th inning, but it's going to be a +50 for winning the game for everyone on Team Kilfoyle. But the game's not over yet. Let's take a look at the play of the game presented by Dick's Sporting Goods.
Anna Borden, home run in the 5th inning. First of her Athletes Unlimited career. So good. That has to feel so... you can just let your hair down a little bit now.
That wasn't a cheapie. Smoked it. We're playing the bottom of the 7th inning, even though this game's already been decided. Team Kilfoyle is a winner, but we need to determine who's going to win the 7th inning. If Team Kilfoyle can outscore Team McQuillin, it will be an inning win for Team Kilfoyle. They would have won 6 of the 7, but that's in doubt. Hannah Borden, Kelsey Stewart-Hunter, Bailey Klingler batting against Alyssa Denham. It's an important inning for Denham as well, as she wants to accumulate outs in the circle. Every out you record is a +4. Denham's had a good day. Does Alyssa Denham remember the pitch that she threw to Borden that Borden hit the home run on?
Probably.
Someone hit a home run off of you, how long would it take for you to forget the pitch that you threw to them?
I mean, you have to kind of wash it, but I think you respect the hitters when they get on top of something. You're like, all right, I have to be better in that situation. But, I mean, losing games on a hitter or taking you deep is a different, man, you got to let that go. But it can linger for quite a long time, that's for sure.
Uh-oh. Borden is hit with the pitch. So the leadoff batter aboard here in the 7th inning. Team Kilfoyle just needs to score 1 run to win the inning. 1 run wins the inning. 10 points on the line. You think a bunt would possibly be the play. There's not anything that Stewart Hunter can't do with a bat in her hands. She can bunt, she can slap, she can hit it over the fence. Into left field, sinking, but caught by Bubba Nichols. 1 down. 0 for 4 day for Kelsey Stewart Hunter. I've been impressed with Alyssa Denham today.
Yeah, she's done a really good job. She's stayed composed, and to me, it's just when she's able to locate both speeds well, she's on.
Humpback liner off the glove of the second baseman, Romero. Just inches away from a gorgeous catch for Sierra, but it'll be a single for Klingler, her second hit of the game.
Well, and you saw her time it up. She sees that it has some height. She goes down to get a little extra giddy up when she jumps up, but
Sydney McKinney's the batter. Good eye. I thought that was a strike.
she's been getting squeezed a lot.
McKinney so far today, perfect. Laid down a sacrifice bunt, +10 in the second inning. She's also singled twice.
That's the same spot.
1 ball, 1 strike. Little nubber caught by Stewart Hunter in the dugout. Good job. Elite hand-eye coordination. Hope she didn't jam a finger. One, 2. Caught by the third baseman, Jesse Warren, who doubles off Borden at second. Classic Jesse Warren. So it's a inning win for Team Kilfoyle. They win the entire ball game 4-3. And that'll do it. 1 out of 2 games in the books here on a Monday afternoon in Rosemont.
Well, and she makes it look so easy. Look at this play, a little soft liner. But she's the queen of always knowing what's next. After she makes a great play, she automatically was looking towards second base to catch and lock eyes with Sierra Romero. Great job by Team Kilfoyle. A couple blemishes for Lexi. 2 home runs given up. Had not given up a home run in the first 2 weeks. Both pitches off of the off speed, so something to think about.
So Team Kilfoyle, they not only win the game, but they win 5 of the 7 innings. Team McQuillin, it could have been a heck of a lot worse. They hadn't won any of the first 5 innings before picking themselves up and winning the 6th and the 7th to salvage the day with a +20 in inning wins. Let's go down in the field and check in with Savannah Collins.
Lexi, what a day for your squad to just bounce right into this game a couple days later. What were the conversations and things that you said to one another to just get up and get going, technically 2 innings in?
Yeah, honestly, we've been making really good contact all throughout this whole week, and the balls haven't been falling for us. And so today they definitely fell for us, and they came at the right times.
I know you've put a lot of trust in Taylor Edwards, but today it was Kayla Kowalik stepping in and calling that game for you. Tell me about the battery connection you two had for you to be able to complete this game.
Yeah, so I played with her on Team USA, so I had that previous connection, and we bonded really well, and we kind of knew each other, so I think that was the smartest decision, and she did amazing calling behind there.
Finishing out week 3 of the season, for you, where you're at right now as a pitcher, what you've learned about yourself, what do you take into what's now the home stretch, getting towards championship weekend?
Honestly, just reading more into hitters. I think I need to work on that side of like seeing what they can hit well, seeing what they can't hit well, and then honestly just trusting the hitters, and because they're the ones that are going to score the runs as long as I hold them to zeros.
Thank you, Lexi. Appreciate it. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Eric, back to you.
Lexi Kilfoyle now with 3 complete games. The AU record is 6, held by the great Kat Osterman back in 2020. Here's an updated look at the leaderboard. This includes the inning wins and the game win. Lexi Kilfoyle is back on top by 76 points over Amanda Lorenz.
Yeah, right now it looks like she could be a good candidate for potentially wearing the the captain's hat again next week. We got a couple other games coming up shortly here, and we'll see how this changes.
Leaderboard doesn't reflect MVP votes. There's still an MVP 1, an MVP 2, and an MVP 3. 60, 40, and 20 to be awarded. We're going to take a timeout. We'll come back at 6:30 Eastern time. We will have the final game of our Series 3 from Rosemont, Illinois. It'll be Team Lorenz taking on Team Palacios. Team Palacios trying to sweep the weekend, trying to go 3-0. How about that? You can find that game on ESPNU. But for now, for both my partners, Danielle Laurie and Savannah Collins, I'm Eric Collins saying thanks for watching.